Interesting to see whether they've got the speed of Melbourne this afternoon. Scott Jeffrey to get us underway in the sunshine at the MCG. And the rucks go out at Jamar on the way down, flicked it down, falling to the ground. Kennedy, what a fine subverted, wanders up towards the wing. Smith is a clever player. Did well there. Grundy. Now Everett sends it out wide. Metres in the clear. McVeigh. Now he's a long kick. He's about 65 metres out.
Great kick.
No length required there. It was all about precision. McGlynn, like Kennedy, an ex-Hawk, and he comes and kicks the goal. Missed a bit of football last year, but he was very good. Not effective, though.
Oh, here we go again.
O'Keefe, the long ball down towards right half forward. This time, McGlynn's away. Goods is on. And he's in the same position almost that McGlynn took the mark. Didn't take the mark, knocks it to his own advantage, goes in and gets the goal. Something's happening at right half forward. Not really the best spot for it. Chopped off by Jarrett. Did well to snare that ball. Hand passes to Dunn. Oh, and Dunn, well done, snaps a goal.
The plot.
Play on.
It's lovely to be there, Den. McVeigh's kick. Oh, good grab. Reid. Three demons around him.
I reckon that's where they're really susceptible to this Melbourne defence, that quick.
Thanks.
His brother was a revelation last year, wasn't he? Ben Reid going back. And that's a good kick. Swans doing well here. 3 goals to 1.
Hooks it down.
Wow.
Jetta, one on either side this afternoon. Grundy back to Jetta. Now breaking towards that Bermuda Triangle for Melbourne is O'Keefe. He wants it out in front, but Jetta enjoying himself. The wind whistling in his hair. Jetta from the wing. Well, it wasn't a good kick on the end of it. He just put it up to a contest, but Reid will make it okay. Slips it away to Goods. Goods is tackled. Hand passes forward with the outside of the boot. Everett. What's he done? He's kicked a goal.
And the handball down low. High tackle, Sylvia. So Sylvia, does he attack the goal? He does. It's a good-looking kick. It's home. He's a talent, is he? I was going to say special.
Jamar did brilliantly. Tapscott runs on, gathers the football and drives it towards half forward. Going back is Dunn. Dunn hurriedly onto the boot. Now here's a chance for the D's. Bounces obligingly for Marriage. Goes to Green. Gets the goal. Terrific. It started with Trengove at half-back.
He's playing in that front half, and he just looks dangerous every time the ball arrives.
Tapscott again, kicking in, kicked it to himself and drives it up towards midfield. Kennedy did brilliantly. Matner, oh, well played by Jack. And Goods left in space. Of course, because he is exactly that.
And he's a great athlete too, we know that too, but he had too much space in.
He didn't run that time. And he comes, 49 metres out. Slow, drifting kick is good.
Grundy has to fetch it. Watts, he paddles back to Smith. Gang tackle taken. Marrick normally pretty clever here. Jara! Been waiting to say that for 6 months. Kick from about 48 metres. It's sweet. Oh, he's a beautiful footballer. Had Shaw out of the corner of the eye, but he couldn't quite do it. And then Davies kicks a beauty, and Green's within range. He will go short though. Finds Jetta.
That's modern day football, isn't it? You break.
Go over it, Andreas.
9-14. Good kick. It's a goal. Melbourne coming back here. Back within 8 points. Good game of football.
Points.
Melbourne keeping 4 forwards back here.
So White does well this time against Jamar. Bolton. Quick kick by Shaw was clever. And then White getting back onto it. It's a big goal. To the man on the mark. That man being White now. McVeigh off one step. Oh, good kick.
Great
and
kick.
Melbourne are going to be hurt here.
Oh, there, Cole.
Great kick.
Bolton got in behind. Good kick. Sydney get an important goal at the start of the second half. It's certainly noticeable.
A good mark, given the quality of the opposition. They bring it away again. Matner to the outer side. This will be interesting. Jetta fancies his chances. Runs the boundary line and kicks down towards the 50. And the mark is taken by White. Overcommitted. Falling was Rivers. Now he's got a problem. White can set a goal. Runs in, lacking support. Eventually flips it over the top. Well done. He drew them and then gave it off.
And Green, they need something to happen, Melbourne. Jeddah's handball, a bit sloppy. Maloney, did well. Thought his way through it. And then off one step. That's a good kick. Oh, that is so good.
The ball in, they lock it in, they're getting a lot more chances. Melbourne, it goes in and comes straight back out at this stage.
Beautiful pass from Kennedy onto the chest of Reid. Reid looks inside the forward 50. Well, not bad. The Reid boys. There goes the kick from McGlynn, and he puts it right through. He's been dangerous. He's got Kaz, and as a result, he's released the man that he was on, and that's Sylvia. He didn't come with enough conviction, McVeigh. I doubt, though, he was going to change things too much, but that's a terrible kick from Sylvia. Bounces off the chest of Jeddah, comes to Jeddah. Work that out. Opportunity for Jones, runs inside the 50. They desperately need a goal, and Jones delivers. Down a marriage who goes out wide. Bennell in a foot race with Sumner. Sumner arrives now, but Bennell burns him off. Sumner in the vapor trail. Bennell lines up, goal, and kicks it. They can run them around. Game of football, Jamar down to Maloney. Sydney lead it by 14 points. The high ball interference there. Free kick will go to the sub. Headed on the ground, slips, goes looking for Dunn. Dunn works his way in front and takes the mark. Terrific start for them.
As soon as he starts walking, he's fine.
Got their first goal. We're right behind him. Dunn. It's working its way back. Melbourne get the first goal of the final term.
McGlynn, good kick inside. Jack so good in that third quarter. Running hard, delivering to Bolton. Yes!
Wow.
Jude's got tricks we didn't know he had. In his career. Good time to do it.
Well, sometimes his strength can be a weakness, I guess. Jarrah! Right back in. In he comes. He's learned by his mistakes. Good footballers do, and he puts it through.
Well done by Jack, but only as far as Bale. Tapscott really liked his game. Bang he goes. Jamar, not quite. Green kicks the goal. The captain puts them in front. To see of humanity there, isn't it? Jamar over the top. O'Keefe. It's all square.
Bruce, I told you.
Well, know that. Jeddah's been cramped in this last quarter. The clock's the enemy. The clock's going to beat them. We've got to draw again at the G. You picked it, Dennis.
It's just what we've done, Bruce. What a great game of footy, eh?
Melbourne hasn't won a game against Hawthorn since 2006, and the Hawks were keen to retain that record with the return of new skipper Luke Hodge. But it was last week's standing captain that gifted the Brown and Gold their first major of the match.
Play on is called, can't miss from there.
The Hawks had plenty of opportunities, but inaccuracy haunted them. Kicking 1 goal 6 before solid teamwork from Melbourne gave them their first.
He is dynamite, isn't he? Have a look at that to Dunn. Green, and this way well set up a goal. Pettit goes inside. Dunn will finish. Punt road end. That is just splendid football. Aaron Davey, take a bow.
Davey was having an impressive first quarter.
Line ball. Here's Davey anyway at the other end. And he's going to make them pay because he stuck that one right through the eye. Little. Melbourne respond.
And 3 defenders were no match for Jack Watts as he gave the Demons the lead.
Watts lets it go. Demons goal in front. Remarkable football.
Burgoyne created a 1-point ball game heading into quarter time, but Melbourne were determined to break their hoodoo against the Hawks and opened the second term with 2 majors, Jamar putting his side further in front.
A mini break in this game.
Hawthorn seemed frustrated by the sudden onslaught and couldn't contain the Demons' run up forward.
Jarrah's going to climb over the top if there's anyone there. He didn't need to. Played on with a risky handball. Green goal. Oh boy, wowee, look at that.
Bateman providing a glimmer of hope for a Hawks comeback, but the problem with accuracy continued, Hawthorn kicking 3 goals 13 in the first half to trail the Demons by 19 points. The yips seemed to continue in the third quarter until Cameron Bruce broke the drought.
It'll require some wizardry here. Back to Bruce on his favourite ride. Hawthorn get it.
Buddy finally finding his feet, leading a Hawthorn revival.
Straight over the top. Lance Franklin goes bang.
Within minutes, confusion in front of the goals gave the Hawks the lead.
Free kick off the ball here. This is disastrous. It's going to Hawthorn. So it'll be a really early free kick directly in front. He converts. And all of a sudden, in a matter of minutes, the mood and the tide of this game has swung dramatically in the Hawks' favour.
And this time it was the Demons' turn to feel the heat as Hawthorn began to taste victory.
Franklin on the left boot around the corner, kicks the goal! Franklin's kicked a couple, Hawthorn have got 4 in a row.
The brown and gold turning around the half-time deficit with 7 straight goals to lead by a game-high 33 points at the last change.
Knocked down from Baton, picked up by Osborne. That's bouncing pretty damn good as well. Goodness me!
Hawthorn opened the final term with 2 straight goals. Melbourne holding on to slight hope of a comeback with 2 of their own.
Melbourne have got 2 in a couple of minutes here.
The Demons with 3 majors in the final quarter, but there wasn't enough time on the clock to make them count, as Osborne put the icing on the cake for the Hawks.
And he's gold.
Alistair Clarkson, clearly thrilled with his side's come-from-behind win, as Hawthorn celebrated their 45-point victory.
Tell you what, we wasted a few opportunities. I guess we're lucky to still be in the game going in during the third quarter, but the boys finished off quite well.
Lisa Broham, Big Pond Sport.
Melbourne President Jim Stynes labelled the Demons' second-half capitulation against Hawthorn last week as unacceptable and called for the team leaders to step up. Neville Jetta, Adam Marich and Ricky Pettard were dropped for the clash against winless Brisbane. Jared Polec made his debut for the Lions, who had lost 10 of the previous 12 games against Melbourne. Liam Jurrah put his bright boots to good use in the opening minutes.
A good look for it as well from behind the goals. Magnificent kick. Jurrah gets the first.
Mitchell Clark went off to fix a dislocated finger. Luke Power had his eye fixed on goal.
And Brisbane get an important one in the context of their day.
James Polkinghorne then deceived 2 Demons.
Polkinghorne went right, left. Has he got a left now? We're about to find out. Great looking kick. Polkinghorne, superb play.
The Lions kicked 5 straight to set up a 32-7 quarter-time lead.
Power around the corner, magnificent little kick. Nice, wasn't it? He enjoys it.
In changeable conditions, Austin Wanamiri altered the angle to suit himself.
Wanamiri plays on, kick around the corner has, I think, gone through the middle. It has. Wanamiri likes it.
Todd Banfield was in no man's land to launch his second.
There's a good look at what's in front of him. Hasn't he done that well? Worked it out absolutely magnificently.
Jurrah discarded the bright yellow boots for white.
Jurrah on the run, and they pull one back.
Down 4 goals, Melbourne needed something inspirational.
What a
crack.
Jordan Gisbert and Jurrah then halved the deficit.
Jurrah loads up from 50, launches a rocket. Got it, Melbourne are back.
Jurrah's white boots were working a treat.
The uncertainty created now on the minds of Brisbane. Here's Jurrah, one bounce, he's kicked 3, another one from 50 metres. That is just pure class. Oh boy, Liam Jurrah, wowee.
At half-time, Brisbane 7-3-45, Melbourne 6-3-39. Melbourne coach Dean Bailey laid it all out before the second half, and Jurrah was the first to respond.
Bale, Jurrah! Just like an extension ladder over the top he was.
Fantastic
jump, 50. We've only played a half. Jurrah comes in and whacks it home. He's got 5.
Brisbane then cashed in on the Demons' defensive blunders to go 2 goals ahead.
J-Mar drops an easy mark. Power just dribbles it through. And that is a rain-affected result there.
Jack Grimes bombed away from well out to get Melbourne within a goal.
Fronts the goal, has a good look at it. I think it's gone all the way, or did Merritt get a hand on it?
It's there.
It's there, it's a goal.
Before Colin Sylvia and Jamie Burnell found the big sticks.
Jones was set up magnificently, gave it to Burnell, has a quick glance and goes bang. Melbourne now by 10 points.
Brisbane kicked the only goal in the first 20 minutes of the final term when Banfield found power.
Frawley or Rivers it was.
Power's running forward, Brian.
Banfield done well. Look at Power, Spud. You called it. He plays on. And all of a sudden the ground is taken from spin. Power converts.
Jara's work in the goal square ensured Brent Maloney's long kick clinched victory.
Around the corner, Jara's the danger. Been exciting today. Can he get a leg to it? Did he? I'm not sure. He says he did. Does the goal umpire agree? He's got it.
Full time, Melbourne 12-10-82, Brisbane 11-5-71.
Yeah, look, we started a bit slow and the boys grinding away and yeah, it's good to get the win.
Charles Christian, Big Pond Sport.
Round 4 action arrived at the Gabba with the Gold Coast Suns hosting the Melbourne Demons. The home side would enter the match with stars Gary Ablett and Campbell Brown watching from the grandstand, while Melbourne would have to overcome their travelling Demons after winning just 3 of their past 25 interstate matches. The Demons would start the match heavy favourites, but it was the young upstarts that opened the scoring, with Livewire Brandon Matera giving the hosts a dream start.
He's a dead-eye Dick Matera, and this is no exception. Oh, terrific start.
4 minutes on, it was Dean Bailey's men starting to find their stride. Firstly, excitement machine Liam Jara kicking truly from 45.
And he's timed it sweetly. He's on the board early today.
Then Lyndon Dunn would boot the easiest of majors. Matt Shaw marked strongly and converted to give the home side back the lead.
The kicking the goal so far hasn't been good, but this is fine.
But it would be short-lived as the away team started to dominate. Bennell's long bomb was impressive.
Just eludes Hardbrow and then leans back with a good-looking kick to full forward. He's got it.
And when Brad Green's clever shot from his right shoe found the target, the D's had skipped away.
Green, he puts it through for a goal.
Jack Trengove was prevalent early on, firstly with a goal of his own.
Trengove kicks a goal.
Then a piercing ball onto the chest of Liam Jara for the Demons' 7th major.
There goes the Jara kick and he puts it through.
With Melbourne in control, the spectators were looking for something special, and it was the 206cm Zach Smith that provided the highlight with his second goal of the afternoon.
He played soccer 4 years ago. What position did he play in soccer? I can't imagine.
But from that point on, it was all one-way traffic. The D's would land the next 4 in quick succession, with Austin Wanamiri on the end of the productive build-up.
Wanamiri's kick is good.
46 points the margin at the long break. The third term was underway less than a minute when Aaron Davey rose superbly.
Wanamiri and Sylvia, the two flyers, and Davey on the wrong side for him.
But a clever manoeuvre from a kick-in allowed Josh Fraser to escape out the back and kick an easy goal for the Suns.
Lines it up. Well done.
Then Danny Stanley dug into his trick bag and came up trumps.
Out of mid-air, Stanley!
Emerging star David Swallow chimed in, and when Alec Megan snapped truly, the Suns were mounting a challenge.
Can he kick the goal that he's been going for? He can!
Brent Maloney brought a halt to the Suns' charge, and when Aaron Davey landed his second for the quarter, the momentum had swung back toward the Demons.
And Davey, victoriously.
The third term was pretty evenly matched, and with some wind in their sails, the Suns' #1 draft pick showed that he will be a star of the future.
Lines them up, long and strong.
But the Melbourne boys had another gear. They would pile on the next 5 goals in a 10-minute period, with Brad Green's 300th of his career a little special.
Still going at his 300, and he's done it this time.
Something else in the same vein was Michael Riscatelli's effort in the dying stages.
Riscatelli launches himself and takes the mark.
But it was the Demons' day, running out comfortable winners by 90 points. Brad Seymour, Big Pond Sport.
Melbourne axed 3 players among 4 changes following the 54-point thrashing from West Coast. Coach Dean Bailey ordered an extra training session to shake the Demons out of their poor form, even though they started round 7 inside the top 8. 4 losses in a row at the MCG, Adelaide aimed to improve on its 2-3 record so far this season. In slippery conditions, Liam Jara kick-started Melbourne
A spot on the 8 up for grabs at the MCG in the clash between Melbourne and Richmond, both with 5 wins and a draw in the ledger. On show, the cream of the AFL's bright young talent, and it was arguably the game's brightest young star, goaling first for the Tigers.
Oh, Martin, we know he can pump it from 50. The crowd rise. They rose before he got it.
They'd kicked the first 2 in a dominant opening before the skipper took it upon himself to keep the Demons in the game.
Green the target, no one in the square, just needs to be accurate, he can be low. He is brilliant.
It seemed to spark the D's young brigade, a couple of number 1 draft picks standing tall. First Jack Watts.
First class.
An indication the boys slowly becoming men. It was then Jack Trengove's turn.
That's nice.
Liam Jarrah would continue his return to form up forward.
He likes it. He likes it.
Before Jack Watts delivered Melbourne a 20-point lead at quarter time.
The crowd are into it. The 2 teams are into it.
Looking to snap a 6-goal streak from the D's, Richmond would scrap at the start of the second.
Vickery. Everybody looked up. Vickery waited. Goes for goal. Amazing. And kicks it. Organised chaos.
Taking control, Tyrone Vickery would kick the first 2 before Jarrah, ever the opportunist, would dish off.
Jones should. That's against the flow.
James Frawley had been doing a great job keeping Jack Riewoldt quiet, but it's hard to keep a good man down.
From just inside 50, it's drifting, but it's in. Jack's back.
But just when the Tigers would draw close to the Demons, their talls would kick in up forward.
Martin. Oh, he plays on. Runs to 30. Spectacular.
The Demons' yo-yo of a season saw them win by 89 last week, 6 days after losing by 88. Their fans in no doubt as to which Melbourne had turned up at the G today.
Green around the body. Spectacular.
With a bit of push and shove, Melbourne would take a 29-point lead into half-time. They'd goal straight after, following a suspect free. But when push came to shove again, it was the Tigers who came out on top.
Jackson snaps. This should be a goal. On the line, Edwards.
The Tigers were desperate to stay in the contest. They needed something. Newman providing a spark.
It carries. That could be the fire starter.
But the desperation cut both ways. The Demons' backline strangling Vickery.
Trucks the tackle. Hands it. No, he doesn't. Goes the stab. Superb, Garland.
The Tigers would claw their way through with a goal to Farmer, but Melbourne would maintain their 29-point buffer into the final term.
Tricky decision there. Hawley tried the don't argue. It didn't work. Watts on the buzzer. Oh, that'll hurt.
Vickery would ease some of the pain early.
Vickery.
Well, speak of the devil.
How about that?
On cue.
The Tigers would take them any which way they came. Hislop, unorthodox. Farmer would capitalise on that, and when Foley honed in, it was game on.
Foley, he can sense it. He goes to goal. It might go the way. It's gone up a gear.
But the Demons would hold their nerve, grabbing some breathing space through Trengove.
This will be huge.
But the biggest relief for D's fans came when Liam Jarrah broke clear, putting the game out of reach and sealing a spot in the 8.
Finishes it all with class.
Back-to-back wins for Melbourne, stopping the roller coaster for now with a 27-point victory. David Murdoch, Big Pond Sport.
Former Demon Sean White remembered during a minute's silence after losing his battle with cancer this week at age 47. Melbourne clearly moved and quick to boot the opening goal against the Bulldogs through Ricky Pettard.
Goes with a long kick down towards full forward. Pettard gets the crom, kicks the goal.
In his second game back after an injury layoff, Bulldog Barry Hall looked comfortable. The veteran forward going back-to-back as the two sides went goal for goal.
This time last year he kicked 48 goals. He bangs that through.
The Doggies breaking away late in the first term. Successive goals giving them a 13-point lead as Adam Cooney went Wayne Rooney.
Pushing forward is Cooney, running hard and does it brilliantly.
Riding a 10-match losing streak at Etihad Stadium, the ground hoodoos seemed to be haunting the Demons as they conceded 2 goals by giving away free kicks. Jack Trengrove providing the lift Melbourne needed and converting it into a much-needed goal. The D's winning the disposal count and finally starting to make it count.
Oh, that's beautiful. Struck sweetly.
Daniel Jansirakusa snapped to his dangerous best around the forward line.
That's what he can do in tight quarters.
The Bulldogs beginning to regain control. Jared Grant's well-weighted kick set up Hall's third.
And he puts it through.
While Melbourne paid the price for its wayward kicking, trailing by 24 points at half-time. Gia continued to make his mark up forward to put the Dogs further ahead, while Liam Picken kicked a ripper from outside 50 to give the Dogs their biggest lead of the match.
Releases Picken. Picken brought to the contest by Scully. Lines up for a goal. It's running. It's a goal.
Speaking of rippers, check out this. Pettard continuing to throw himself at everything to ping his second for the D's. But with everything Jansirakusa touching turning to goals, the writing looked on the wall for Melbourne.
Hooper to Jansirakusa and leans back and goes bang and kicks his third.
Demons began clawing their way back with two majors as Colin Sylvia started to make his presence felt. But just when the D's looked a chance, one of the smallest Dogs showed his bark to put them 33 up at three-quarter time.
Little Dowhouse, the little dog goes bang!
Jack Watts burst into open goal to give Melbourne hope.
Mackenzie's long ball in. Watts kicks a goal, and he does. It's just what they needed.
Only for Jansirakusa to shatter it again.
Comes in and kicks his fourth.
The Bulldogs unleashing when Jared Grant brought down a screamer. They started running away with the game.
And that's a good kick. That is a beautiful strike.
A second major from Luke Dowhouse, the icing on the cake, as the Dogs went on to celebrate 3 on the trot. The winning margin, 64 points. Daniela Intilli, Big Pond Sport.
Port Adelaide have become the poster boys for footy in the top end, the tip of the AFL's expansion spear. They'd spent the week acclimatising to Darwin's humidity, desperate to claw its way off the bottom of the ladder. They'd face a Demons side looking to keep pace with the top 8, a must-win game for the D's, the Territory's own, setting up the first.
And the brilliant and unpredictable Jara, how will it bounce? It bounces well for the Demons, and Pettit kicks the first goal of the night.
A long night ahead for Matthew Primus, this after the first goal, and they'd keep coming with the Demons totally dominating.
Liam Jara sweeps the handball, Marek can kick his second.
The Power would concede the first 4 before Chad Corns got his hands on the footy.
He's got no one to go to, so he goes for home. Chad Corns, open goal face, and he kicks Port Adelaide's first.
With little coming in the way of pressure from the Power, Melbourne were running rampant.
Chance for Pettit, who's got an open goal face, and he kicks the goal. That's his second.
Port would peg one back before the break, but the D's run out of the back half would hand them a 4-goal quarter-time lead.
Now, here go the Demons, and it's Strauss running forward from defence, getting himself to within 40 of goal, and driving it home with the left boot. Nick Nicholson it was.
The D's would extend that early in the second. Liam Jara finding space.
Decides to go all the way himself, runs to 25 and pops it through.
Back-to-back goals showed there were some signs of life from Port.
Just 35 metres. Make it 4 goals, 8. Well played.
But Jara would again terrorise the Power's defence.
Kicked a goal at this end a little while ago. Again, he cuts the distance and he finishes it comfortably.
No real science to the Demons' heat-stress management regimen. The Power managing to keep in touch through Banner. And when Gray scored, they were right in it.
Gray steers it through and the margin is just 14.
But it was the D's second quarter saviour, Liam Jara, who would again come to the rescue.
Salopek will need to be good, but Jara's better.
Melbourne leading Port Adelaide by 20 points at half-time. Jara the difference, this his 3rd goal of the second quarter. And they'd kicked the first of the third.
Stephen Martin From 20 metres, he pops it through.
But Port Adelaide had opened the second half with a renewed intensity. Goals to Hitchcock and Thomas would take the margin back to 14 before Melbourne steadied with 3 of their own.
Sylvia won't need them. He runs to 50 and drives it home.
It seemed to pull the plug on the power. Skipper Brad Green would chime in with a double.
Kick towards Green, who stretches forward on the second attempt and marks.
And the lead was all of a sudden out to 45. Chad Corns would attempt to provide a spark for Port Adelaide.
Virtually in the goal square. Oh, that is a screamer. There is spring in those legs left yet.
39 points up heading into the final term. Tom Scully would take the red vest. Chad Corns would continue rolling out his CV.
Snap around the body. Has he got enough on it? Gets a good bounce. Good shepherd coming from O'Shea.
Dean Bailey had time to recount the fishing tale from the D's last trip to the top end. But Port Adelaide went on a run of their own, kicking the next 5 goals straight.
Banner, can he slot it from 50? A driving kick off. He's kicked it. Back to 14 points.
With a miracle comeback in the offing, Melbourne woke from its slumber.
And here's Martin on the end of the kick. He can run in, seize the moment and kick the goal that just might finish the job, and well done.
Melbourne 21-point winners, still in the finals race, but with the next 4 opponents all in the top 5, a September berth may be just out of reach. David Murdoch, Big Pond Sport.
It was goal for goal in the latter stages of the second term at the G. Xavier Ellis made no mistake.
From 45, good-looking kick.
And Matthew Bate also threaded the needle to pull the Demons to within 18 points.
And that's a lovely kick. That keeps Melbourne in it.
The Hawks were relentless, though, forcing the ball forward, allowing Michael Osborne to scramble a major.
Wonderful defence by Garland, not enough though. Rioli goes to Osborne. Osborne tunnels the kick for a goal.
Hawthorn were well on the way to their 8th straight win over Melbourne, taking a 25-point lead into the third quarter. Brad Green got Melbourne off to a bright start.
And they get the first goal of the second half, and that was big.
Luke Bruce went one better, though.
And that is a terrific goal.
Shane Savage came off second best after a collision with Luke Tapscott. He would be subbed off before the break. The Hawks continued to put the score on the board.
Oh, Rioli, he did it to me last time. He's going to do it again. But he knows it's their turn. Hodge, Rioli, Franklin Hodge.
Hawthorn blew Melbourne away in their round 2 clash in the third quarter, and again they put the match beyond doubt in the Premiership quarter, booting 6 goals to 3 to take a commanding 44-point lead into the final term.
Might get a goal. Oh, you do get a goal. 3 to Franklin.
Substitute Isaac Smith struck within a minute of the restart.
It comes from Shields, and Smith just on the ground. The sub kicks the goal.
The Hawks were chasing percentage, and Rioli was on the spot for their 18th goal.
Hale controlling it, Cyril. Oh, he's Cyril.
Melbourne's rollercoaster ride taking another major dip, failing to fire against a top 4 opponent.
Straight through the middle. Yes, sirree. Over the umpire's hat.
The Hawks cruising to a 54-point victory.
6 against Melbourne. That's a beautiful kick.
2012 132 to 12-6 78. Brett Clancy, Big Pond Sport.
They've got one of the longest winning streaks in professional sport. Geelong Skilled Stadium, a fortress. 27 games unbeaten at home. That streak considered almost a certainty to continue. Against a Melbourne side they'd beaten the last 6 times they'd met. An average of 56 points. They'd get straight down to business through Jimmy Bartell.
And the Cats are out of the bag early.
A welcome return from injury for Cameron Mooney. 5 weeks in the VFL, ensuring there was little rust.
Said pre-game he was a little nervous. Nothing nervous about the kick. First 3 to the Cats.
Clearly happy to have Mooney back. They'd roll out the welcome mat as they continued to wipe their feet with Melbourne.
Steele, Mackie pumps it from 55. Oh, squeezed it in. Great tackle, Cam Mooney.
Mooney, one of 8 goal scorers as the Cats set about mauling the D's, and the scoreboard ticked over.
48. Goal umpire does a bit of dancing. This could be catastrophic.
Dean Bailey begging his players for something, anything. Mooney giving them nothing.
Bends it around. He's back.
Oh, the moon.
He's back big time.
Melbourne would eventually chalk up a major through Lyndon Dunn, but at the other end, the Cats were toying with them like stunned mice.
Stokes, Varco, this is amazing to watch. Duncan from Johnson. It's more than a training drill. It's a game against witches' hats.
Dunn would try to unsettle Chapman, and it would spark a rolling war between the pair. Chapman was seeing red, taken to the sideline and calmed down by the coach, but nothing could stop the violent assault on the scoreboard.
Oh, that's horrible on the mark. That is horrible.
A 20-goal half for the record-breaking Cats.
114 points the difference at half-time, and you could almost hear the rumblings about Dean Bailey's future growing louder as play resumed.
Centering kick, Hawkins. Easy goal to start the second half.
Playing for pride, the Demons would at least win a few contests and convert.
Knocked straight down to Howe, and Howe kicks their third.
Melbourne keeping pace with the Cats for much of the third quarter, but still the margin would grow.
Varco's on the move, set up beautifully, might go all the way himself, runs inside 50, unselfishly, Johnson, another training drill.
Jack Watts could hold his head up in a well-beaten side, working hard off and on the ball. Cats fans working just as hard, keeping up with proceedings.
And is marking down the record in the record.
Liam Jarrah would add another footnote to his amazing story.
He goes for goal from beautiful. 50. That's the highlight of their day.
Dean Bailey staring down the barrel at his own slice of unwanted history.
Oh, he's done it.
He might be oblivious to it, but the crowd know they've kicked 37 goals. They have equalled the all-time goals record in a game, and we've got 2.5 minutes left.
They wouldn't add to their tally. The most complete of demolitions, and most goals in a game, tied, one kick short of the biggest ever score. Certainly the highest at Skilled Park, though. Melbourne out of finals contention, yet into the history books for all the wrong reasons. David Murdoch, Big Pond Sport. A new dawn for the Demons following a week of upheaval. A stand-in coach, a stand-in football director. The players urged to make a stand and erase the painful memories of the MCG against Carlton. The Blues needing to keep winning to remain in the top four. Mitch Robinson opening their account.
Great early bye for the Blues.
Robinson would soon feel the heat of the Demons' intent. Their skipper converting to points.
Brad Green kicks the goal.
The Demons more than competitive early. They'd have to come up with a plan to combat Cruiser, though.
Shows that he can kick the goals.
A sickening injury to Strauss would leave the D's backline stocks further depleted, while Watts would give supporters reason to smile.
Blind turn around no one, but it was still around the clean, and he heads towards goal. It's coming back. It deserved a goal.
Last week's 186-point drubbing felt like a distant memory as Melbourne vied for the lead with the top four Blues. They'd go coast to coast to secure a narrow quarter-time lead.
Garlett with electrifying speed. He takes on McDonald nonchalantly, juggles it as he goes. Where will he go now? From 55, kicks into the pocket to his great mate Eddie Betts, feeds it off. Well done. Ellard kicks the goal.
Carlton would explode out of the box in the second quarter.
Left foot snap is a beauty.
The Blues' clearance domination was complete. The service to the forward line, priceless.
Judd, over to Betts. Wouldn't you love to play with Chris Judd?
Todd Viney feeling the heat as Carlton poured on the pressure and points. Yaron Betts and Garlett running rampant.
Betts might as well go. It's a vacant square, and he goes for Garlett.
After such a promising beginning, the D's would concede 8 unanswered second quarter goals, the margin blowing out from 12 to 58 points at half-time. They'd stem the flow early in the third, breaking a run of 11 straight goals.
Gawn's there as well. Gawn up over the top, might let it go, and it floats through for a much-needed one by Jack Watts.
The Blues would go off the boil goalless for much of the third term. Gibbs breaking the drought. Normal service resumed.
Scotland's going to run in and ram it through. Carlton's 16th is there.
The lead would continue to grow, Dunn shaving it to 67 points at three-quarter time.
And the dodgy moustache puts it through.
He'd reprised the role early in the final quarter.
Pulls it back. Gee, he's got some purchase on it. He's kicked a wonderful goal from 57 metres.
Friendly Fire would claim another demon. Tab Scott stretch it off. The Blues inflicting even more pain.
And the Carlton fans love it.
So does he.
Gary Lyon not so impressed. A big job in front of him as Carlton went on with it out in the middle.
Decides to go to Henderson instead, who goes for broke and breaks.
A percentage booster for the Blues. Still no joy for the Demons though. 76 points the difference in the end. David Murdoch, Big Pond Sport.
Melbourne had lost 11 in a row at the Docklands venue, and the recent Demons' dip in form suffered another setback when captain Brad Green was a late withdrawal, replaced by Daniel Nicholson. Pushing for a top four spot, West Coast had won 8 of the previous 9 matches and had Josh Kennedy back after an eye injury, while Darren Glass missed the game because of general soreness. Midway through the opening quarter, the West Coast flood made it difficult for the Demons to penetrate. It now became a matter of how.
Snap it, goal, how? Knows how.
The Eagles responded when 2 marks produced 2 goals, when Nikoski and Lacroix found the big sticks.
But that was never in doubt.
Cale Morton then opted for earth instead of wind and copped fire.
What is going on?
That had to be a drop punt every day of the week, Wayne.
Nikoski's second gave West Coast a 2-goal lead at the first change. Coach Todd Viney called for more thought process in the Melbourne method, but the Eagles pulled clear when Daniel Kerr bombed away from distance before Nick Natanui got onto the score sheet.
Natanui's down there. Got hands to it. He gathers and still goes. What Nick Natanui can't do can't be done.
A tip-off from Dean Cox released Scott Selwood for the Eagles' 6th of the game. Then Lacroix had a crack from just inside the arc.
Run down, still gets the kick away, and they make him count.
Adam Selwood couldn't allow Scott to claim sibling honours before the Eagles went home. Jeremy Howe got enough to claim the mark and pot his second before West Coast exposed Melbourne's defence once more.
Just got a handball away in time. Lacroix gave it up. Selwood to Ebert, and now Prentice on the line. They bit off more than they could chew there, Melbourne.
A milestone for Andrew Embley just before half-time.
Goal 200.
West Coast led Melbourne 10-9-69 to 3-4-22 at the long break, and after Kennedy collected his first of the day, Howe delivered at the other end.
And that is a nice kick at goal. That could give them some inspiration.
Nikoski's third, a combination of commitment and superior skills.
Nikoski traps it, gets free, almost legged, rolls it towards goal. That's a miracle.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
The Demons then struck a purple patch. 5 inside 50 entries since half-time generated 4 Melbourne goals.
Sylvia needs to make it his moment here. Kicks toward goal, nails it on cue.
Lacroix put a spanner in the Demons' spurt, booting his third.
Cox caught, gets it up, Lacroix. Never lets you down.
Jack Trengrove showed plenty of confidence.
Trengrove's marked it.
One of 5 midweek re-signings at Demonland, Trengrove helped Melbourne win the quarter 5-3.
A magnificent end to an outstanding quarter for the Demons.
Clint Bartram had an open chance, but misfired for the 3rd time.
I'm sorry, at AFL level, you cannot miss those goals.
Luke Shuey's hamstring ended his afternoon. Cox felt the leather from Aaron Davey.
Fair on the face.
17 minutes into the quarter, the sting from the Steedens subsided enough for the ruckman to kick the opening goal.
Schofield's running inside 50. He's got a couple of beat. Jumps onto it, beats them all, hands it over the top. Cox.
Kennedy and Cox kicked a couple more to improve percentages in a convincing victory. Full-time West Coast 16-14 110, Melbourne 9-8 62. Charles Christian, Big Pond Sport. Melbourne won the last 3 clashes against Richmond and had Aaron Davies celebrating 150 games and Ricky Pettard 50, while captain Brad Green started in substitute green. Not hard to miss football director Gary Lyon in the war room.
Massive figure just in the middle, just engulfing the box.
While the Demons started with a chance to reach the top 8, Richmond's average form spiked last week with a 43-point win over Sydney. The Tigers were quick to get the jump on the D's.
For the season, Dustin Martin, it's a perfect way for the Tigers to start. 25 metres out, first blood, Richmond.
Jack Riewoldt made it 3 straight goals for Richmond before the Demons got on the board, while Colin Sylvia was reported for this.
Post got cleaned up after he kicked it.
A neat tap from Mark Jamar released Jack Trengo for Melbourne's first.
It's a goal to Melbourne, it's a goal to Jack Trengo.
Brad Miller had a bright opening against his former club.
Plays on, kicks around the corner, kicks his second goal, and the Tigers get out to a 14-point break.
Richmond on a roll to set up a 20-point margin.
Foley in the right spot at the right time. Tigers have got their 5th.
Sylvia kicked 2 of Melbourne's first 3 goals, and out of this scrappy spot fire, Foley lined up to make it 38-18.
45 metres out, kicks it, runs on, celebrates, 2 for Foley.
Davey and Alex Rance landed the final exchanges before quarter time, where the message in the Tigers' den wouldn't have matched the sponsor's sign. Liam Jurra kicked back-to-back goals for the Demons before Sylvia soared.
Spotted it, Sylvia can take a big jump at it. The kick was straight to him.
That was set up for him, that was magnificent.
He's kicked his 3rd. He's the best man on the ground at the moment.
Jake King replied for Richmond to interrupt the Demons' charge before Jurra made it 3 goals from 4 inside 50s so far this quarter.
Shouldn't be an issue, and it isn't.
Richmond kicked clear again, knocking through 3 goals in 7 minutes, with Miller enjoying his time the longer the game went.
Should kick this one now. He squeezes it through.
Davey ended the term running into Mitch Morton. At half-time, Richmond 10-9-69, Melbourne 7-1-43. Lyon in the Melbourne rooms with encouragement, and the Demons engaged in battle from the outset. Trengove and Nathan Jones booted goals within 3 minutes before Melbourne worked the play well to get within 9 points.
Kick to the danger zone. Watts made a contest. In came McKenzie, still in play. Great knockback by McKenzie. Jack Watts kicks the goal. Fantastic stuff.
After Dustin Martin finished off a fine Richmond response, Green shook off the subs vest to boot his 325th career goal.
He's pumped.
Magnificent. That's what you want from your skipper.
Melbourne's number 2 then put the Demons on top.
Jones, he is the man for the job. He puts Melbourne in front for the first time tonight.
Pettard made it 7 goals for the term.
And it's there. It's good enough. It was close, but it's through.
Into the final term, and Robin Nahas delivered the first blow.
Nahas has been quiet, but he's loud now.
Midway through the quarter, Jeremy Webberley rolled Richmond back in front before Sylvia used Pettard's block to perfection.
Sylvia for goal number 4. The D's back in front. They needed a goal, Danny.
Inside the last 10 minutes, and the lead changed once more.
Cochin got it back from Edwards. Cochin puts the Tigers back in front. The lead continues to change.
Daniel Jackson spied Revolt near the goal square, and the Tigers' leading goal kicker did well with his second bite.
Spins out of trouble, dribbles along the ground. Brilliant.
Shane Edwards' shot from outside the arc gave Richmond the necessary breathing space.
Edwards with time and space from outside 50. Long ball in. Edwards kicks the goal. The Tigers' army stand.
The clincher from Martin inside the last 3 minutes.
Martin again, second effort, strong, still strong, and what a goal that is.
Richmond's 100th victory over the Demons since 1908. Full-time, Richmond 17-15, 117, Melbourne 17-8, 110.
We started off well and then probably died a bit in the 3rd quarter, and then we're happy to come back and win the last quarter and just play to our structures, mate, and they come up all right.
Charles Christian, Big Pond Sport.
An historic day for Gold Coast. It was their first ever game at the home of football, the MCG. Plenty of nerves for the new kids on the block. It was Melbourne's last home game for the season, and after 5 straight losses and plenty of turmoil, a win was non-negotiable. In warm conditions, Jared Brennan gave the big don't argue, as both teams held nothing back in a battle where pride, not points, counted. The Suns committed the first costly error. A turnover gave Nathan Jones a free shot, and he made no mistake for the opener.
He's had a pretty good goal kicking year. He's had a good season all round. He's a hardy customer, Jones, and he gets the first goal of the match.
The D's collected 2 before Harley Bennell became the first Sun to score a major at the G.
Wants to do it himself and kicks a goal.
Liam Jarrah was busy. The silky smooth forward landed his second goal.
Jarrah lines up, goes in and gets his second.
Worrying signs for Gold Coast as Brent Maloney stood unattended.
Ricochets to Maloney, that's too easy. Maloney just standing off the pack.
At the first break, Melbourne led by 19 points, but the Suns were surging. Danny Stanley claimed their second after the break.
Gee, Shaw was good. It's a score now. Stanley, who's been a good goal kicker, gets one in front of Gary Ablett.
Before Maloney strolled in for the D's.
McNamara lobs it between a couple of Melbourne players, and Maloney goes in and kicks the goal.
The goals were flowing, none better than David Swallow's effort.
Swallow, you should have called it.
A point the difference before Jarrah loaded up.
She's kicked it very, very, very well, all the way.
Entertaining footy and a good finish from Michael Riscatelli.
Knock it back to Russell, emerges with the football, goes to Riscatelli. Riscatelli kicks a goal.
At half-time, the D's led by 6 and they quickly doubled the margin with Brad Green second.
Green, lovely looking kick, gets it home, he's kicked a couple, Melbourne get a little bit of breathing space.
When Stephen Martin scored, the Demons had a handy buffer.
Tracking it back as Martin needs to be corralled here. The right man's there, well, sort of. Bok, he bought the dummy and Martin kicked it. I take it all back.
The only downside was the sight of Jarrah grabbing his arm after a hard landing. He headed for the sidelines, his day over. Plenty of positives on the scoreboard, though, for the Melbourne camp. The D's reeled off 6 in a row.
There's Jetta, and he should get the ball. Not a very good kick. It drags him into the pocket. Now he has to finesse, beats his man, runs into an open goal and kicks it. Left Harbrow in his wake.
At the final break, the home side looked to have the game well under control, up by 35 points. A 5-game losing streak surely set to end. The Suns had a few surprises left. Gary Ablett at his freakish best.
Oh, snatched it away, does get a crack at a goal, does the team thing. How good was that? Gives it to his brother who kicks the goal. That's brotherly love.
The Ablets teaming up at the MCG. The visitors taking it right up to the D's with 3 quick majors.
Buying the crumbs, 2 Melbourne players up, and Thompson took the mark and reaps his reward.
Green stopped the run with a captain's goal.
And he comes and he puts it through. So that is a timely run from the skipper.
Gold Coast kept pressing though.
Russell sends it long, but it bounces through. Oh, we like him.
A gutsy effort from the Suns, but Melbourne kept coming up with the answers.
Oh, that's a good kick. Melbourne, get away now.
The D's ending their losing streak with a 30-point victory.
Gives it to Maloney, settles, kicks, and kicks a goal.
Caretaker coach Todd Viney posting his first win. Melbourne home, 17-10-112 to 12-10-82. Brett Clancy, Big Pond Sport.
The famous Cricket Oval became the 39th venue to be used for a premiership season match. Melbourne hadn't won across the South Australian border in 15 matches over a decade. The Demons started without Tom Scully, who withdrew with a hip injury, replaced by Rowan Bale, while number 48 Jack Fitzpatrick made his debut. Dean Brogan played his last game for Port Adelaide, who could offload the wooden spoon to Gold Coast with its 3rd win of the season. The power defence was caught on the hop, and Cale Morton kicked the first goal on this venue, while Brett Ebert became Port's first in his 150th game.
Gee, struck that well.
Geordie McKenzie and Nathan Jones added 2 more goals for the Demons before Travis Boak backed himself to score after the siren.
And he's got it too. Sweet as you like, that'll be a goal. As sweet as you like.
The power hit the front early in the second term when Ebert caught a glimpse of goal. The goal scorer knocked in his third 5 minutes later before the Demons tied the scores at 32.
He's got some pace, Martin. That'll be some goal if he kicks it, and he has.
Port Adelaide made it 6 goals in 7 when David Roden fired one out of heavy traffic, and leading goal kicker Robert Gray steered through his 32nd of the season.
And then Gray goes bang! And listen to the roar!
Melbourne's leading goal kicker Brad Green made it 36 for the year with his second touch of the game. Matthew Bate got the Demons back within a kick.
So Bate puts it through, and Melbourne shows some resolve right there. They were tested by Port, but they've got the last 2 goals.
Inside the final minute, Mark Jamar put the Demons in front.
Jamar gets the goal, Melbourne lead by a point.
At half-time, Melbourne 7-11-53, Port Adelaide 8-4-52. Jones kicked his second goal of the game before 29-year-old Daniel Motlop knocked in a major in his final game for Port.
Kicks it low and hard and kicks it through.
Mackenzie had 2 career goals in his previous 37 matches and bagged a double in this, while Jacob Surgeon needed medical treatment.
Well, that's a real gash. You can see that there.
One of the best of Motlop's 20 touches to date laid it on for Stephen Salopek.
Motlop cleverly done to Salopek. Oh, that's Motlop. And Salopek finishes it.
Jack Schultz booted his 31st of the season to stay 1 behind Gray, while Jack Trengove trimmed the margin to 2 goals at the final change.
There's one they need.
Jeremy Howe used his least preferred leg to get the Demons driving before Neville Jeddah's goal couldn't separate the teams once again.
84 apiece.
Melbourne smothered the Power 5 times in 5 minutes and converted the turnover into Fitzpatrick's maiden AFL goal before most of the 29,000 fans rejoiced with Boak's boundary beauty.
Boak the impossible angle, and he puts it through, and Port lead.
Westhoff landed 2 goals in 2 minutes to give the Demons the slip inside the final 9 minutes.
Starts the season with 4 and finishes it with at least that many.
Matthew Lobe showed his strength to set up his first ever Power goal, while the Demons conjured up one last charge.
Green will fly from the side, and Green's taken the mark. They can win Melbourne. What a remarkable game.
Not enough, and the Demons' South Australian drought continues. Full-time, Port Adelaide 17-10-112, Melbourne 15-14-104.
Oh, mate, I might come out of retirement after that. Oh, that's just unbelievable. This is, the future looks bright coming here, and yeah, what a game. What a game. I don't know what to say, fantastic.
Charles Christian, Big Pond Sport.